Good morning, everyone. So today we will be discussing about the cables. So basically, the cable introduction of cable means like the basic structure of cable, how the cable is being manufactured, and which type of cables are we using for the circuit wiring and the panel board wiring, and as well as the UG cable wiring. Okay. So we will go through the cable calculation as well as the cable introduction part. Okay, so yesterday we already discussed about the selection of distribution board. So we usually prepare the primary schedule, then the lighting circuit, power circuit, finally the balanced condition. So based on the balanced condition, we will get an idea like which will be the type of dB and what will be the number of ways and also the total load. So I already said you like we will be getting the total current value, okay, from the maximum demand. Okay, then after getting the current value, you will be adding safety factor to it like 20 or 25 percentage. So based on this based on that particular current, we have to select the appropriate cable as well as the circuit breaker. Okay, so mainly in electrical purposes we use cable like aluminum or copper. Usually the conductor is aluminum or copper. For circuit wiring means from the distribution board to switchboards and from the switchboards to equipments. We usually choose copper as the conductor. Okay, normally we don't use aluminum for the circuit wiring. Okay, but in Indian standards we can use both aluminum and copper for the panel board wiring. I mean mm, supply coming from the transformer to main panel to sub panels, we can use aluminum as well as copper. So comparing the price, aluminum is very cheaper. So usually we select aluminum cables for the panel board wirings and all. But for the circuit wiring, that means from the distribution board to switchboards and to the equipments, we only take copper as the conductor. Okay, so you can see copper and aluminum are used as conductor. Availability is more. Good conductors of electricity. Aluminum is cheaper than copper. Okay, elasticity and plus maximum conductivity and low resistance. So these are the reason for taking the conductors. Like we know gold is also a conductor, silver is also a conductor because we can't take that. You know the price is very higher and the availability is also not so much like aluminum and copper. So comparing the aluminum and copper, aluminum is very cheaper. Okay, so we can discuss about the basic structure of a cable. Here you can see four different parts of a cable. The first one is conductor. Okay, second one is inner sheet, also known as primary insulation. Okay, conductor, primary insulation, then the armoring. Okay, armoring, then oversheath or outer sheath, also known as secondary insulation. So cables, normal cables usually have four different parts. If there is no armoring, we will be having only three parts like conductor, inner sheath, and outer sheath. Cables are available with armoring and without armoring. So the conductor, like you can see the initial part of the conductor, like normal, if it is normal wires, we will be only having the conductor and the insulation. Okay, the normal wiring that we use for the circuit wiring will be having only the conductor and its insulation. But here it is a electrical power cable. So this power cable will have four different structure. If it is armored cable, okay, especially if it is underground cable, it will be having armoring. Okay, you can see the conductor, inner sheath, also known as primary insulation, and armoring. Okay, for the physical protection and complete covering. Like for covering all these parts, we will be having an outer sheath. Okay, so usually when we say conductor, like it will be aluminum or copper. Okay, so in Indian standards, there is a representation for marking the cables in a single line diagram. So we'll be mentioning like 3.5 core, 95 square mm AYFY cable. So what is this AYFY cable? So this AYFY is not being followed in all electrical standards. It is particularly followed where we choose aluminum as the conductor. Okay, but because in British standard they don't usually take aluminum as the conductor, they only take copper, mainly copper. Okay, so you can't mention AYFA. So what is basically AYFA? Here A means the first part, that is the conductor. Okay, you have to go from the right to left side. Okay, so the first one is conductor. So what is A for aluminum. Okay, here A represents the aluminum. Then Y the inner sheath. So when we say it, if it is Y, you have to understand that cables are represented using cable codes. Okay, cables are represented using cable codes. So Y here means PVC. Okay, there is a cable chart, so you can understand the cable, codes for different types of insulation and conductors and the armoring. Okay, here armoring we are representing with again AYFY. What is F? Steel strip armor. Okay, steel strip armor. Then the outer sheath. Outer sheath again it is coming as Y. So again it is PVC. So AYFY means aluminum conductor, PVC insulation, steel strip armored. Then finally the outer sheath also again PVC. So I will show cable codes that we normally use for representing the cables. 1 minute. So this is a table taken from the Kerala State Electricity Board Handbook. Also from the Indian standard, you can see IS 1554 part 1. Okay, IS 554 part 1 1964 and IS 3961 part 2 1967. So you can see the basic cable size that is coming around in the standard format. Okay, this standard size is universal. Okay, whichever country you are working or whichever standard you are following, these sizes are universal. So starting from 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120, 150, 185, 240, 300, 400. So these are the available sizes from 1.5 up to 400 mm square. Okay, so normally we have to select the cable considering the demand current. As I told, like we have to select the distribution board or particular circuit breaker. So we will be calculating the current only. So after calculating, then adding the safety factor, we know, for example, you are getting the current value as 45. Okay, for example, 45. So from this table, this is actually aluminum current rating. Okay, this is actually aluminum current rating. So if you check the current rating represented is 16, 21, 28, 35. So next one is 46. So our calculated value was 45. So the corresponding size will be 10 mm square. Okay, this is how we normally select the cable. Okay, so we have to calculate the current, then you have to check the table, then corresponding size you have to select. Okay, so here I actually want you to understand the standard size, like that is 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16. So whenever someone is asking you or you are attending an interview, don't say the cable size which is not available in the standard sizes. That means, for example, the interviewer is asking, if I'm having a load of 100 kW, what shall be the expected cable size? Here you can just guess the value. He is not asking for the accurate value. He's just testing, like whether you know the nearest cable size, appropriate cable size. For example, for 100 kVA transformer, the current rating shall be 133, 135. Okay, so the cable size shall be at least 75 or 95 square mm. Okay, that is the standard size. So if you are saying 60 mm square, that is completely wrong, because 60 mm square is a not available size. Okay, here you can see after 50, the standard size is 70. So whenever you say the cable size to particular person, like whether it is an interviewer or there is an electrical contractor or the client, you have to make sure that you are telling the size which is available in the standard size. Okay, so just look at this cable size: 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120, 150, 185, 240, 300, 400. So these are the standard size. You can just look at the cable size, like from starting from 1.5 to 400, just for 1 minute, and try to recollect it. Like you can just type in the chat box from 1.5 to in a single message itself, like whichever size you remember. Like initially you would definitely you will forget the final 3 or 4 size or the sizes coming in between. But just try to recollect it and just type the value which are coming into your mind, like 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120. Okay, I just want you to understand, you should not tell the wrong size. Okay, definitely it will take time to register in your mind like this standard size. Okay, because you need to get used to it, because you might, I don't know who are like familiar with the cable size, and if you are not familiar, it will take some time. Okay, so we will be thinking after 400 square mm there will be no cable size, like there will be specially manufactured cable size like 600, 800 mm square, but the standard rating of cable size is like from the standard value is 1.5 to 400. And normally we also have 1 mm square wire, okay, or 1 mm square normal wires. This is actually the standard size which is available in the AYFA cable. Okay, 1.5 to 400 mm square. For normal wires, I'm telling about normal insulation wire, that is we're taking for the circuit wiring, we have 1 mm square wire also. Even 0.75 mm square is also available, but it is not applicable in anywhere in the electrical area. Like we can use it for the speaker wiring and or something like that. But normal wiring size starts from 1 mm square, and the cable size starts from 1.5 to 400. As I said, 600 mm square cables are also available, but for the special cases only. Normally, the manufactured sizes are 1.5 to 400. Okay, so now coming to the cable codes, you can see, as I said, cables are represented using cable codes. Aluminum conductor, XLP insulation, PVC insulation, steel round wire armored, non-magnetic round wire armored. So there are cable codes for different insulation as well as armoring and outer sheet. Okay, so you need to understand cables are represented using cable codes. In some countries or some standard, they will be using another words. Okay, definitely they will be using another word, because they will not be writing all the words in a single line diagram format. So definitely they will be using cable codes. Either you can say it like AYFY, or you can write from like I said in the cable format, like you can mention copper as CU. If it is copper, you can mention as CU. Okay, then XLPE, directly you can write it as XLPE itself. Okay, not an issue. Okay, now if I am asking, and considering the basic structure of the cable. So as I said, this is a basic structure: conductor, inner sheath, armor, over sheath. Okay, so again, you can represent it as A, Y, F, Y. Why A, Y, F, Y? I'm telling A, Y, F, Y means A for the conductor, that is aluminum. Y for the inner sheath, that is PVC. F for the armoring, that is steel strip armored. Again, over sheath is coming as Y, that means PVC itself. So if I'm taking a aluminum conductor with XLPE insulation and wire round armored and PVC outer sheath. So I am again repeating the question. I'm taking a conductor with aluminum, insulation is XLPE, steel round wire armored, PVC outer sheath. Can anybody type the format in the chat box? Conductor is aluminum, insulation is XLPE, steel round wire armored, PVC outer sheath. A2HWI, yeah, correct. So this is how we represent the cable using cable codes. So normally this is only the basic structure of the cable, and along with this cable code, you have to mention the cable size, number of runs, number of core. Okay, this is how we represent the cables. And for example, if you are using copper, that there is actually no code for copper, so you can directly write CU also. Okay, in a particular format you can write, like putting slash also you can write. I will just show that. Normally if you take GCC drawings, usually who is following the using the oblique. Okay, I will just explain that. Yeah, before that, I just want you to recollect the cable size: 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120, 150, 185, 240, 300, 400. So just take a look and just try to recollect, like, and I will take another page so that you have to type the cable size, whichever size you remember. Okay. So just take a look: 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120, 150, 185, 240, 300, 400. Okay. You can't remember the corresponding current and all, but you can remember the standard sizes. Okay. So don't say you are taking a 250 square mm cable. Like, there is no 250 square mm cable size. There is only 240. Then the next size is 300. And between 300 and 400, there is no cable size. Okay. After 300, 400 is the standard size. Okay. Yeah. So can somebody type the standard size for the cable starting from 1.5 ending at 400? If it is wrong, not an issue. Okay. You can just try to recollect the size which you have seen right now. Just type the standard size starting from 1.5 ending with 400. So even if you are missing the important cables, is not an issue. Okay. This is the first time. So just try, give it a try. Yeah, Absent 1.5, 2.5, 4, 6, 10, 16, 25, 35, 50, 70, 95, 120, 150, 185, 2. Yeah, correct. So this is easy. Okay. So try to remember the standard cable size. So whenever we are just taking a cable size from like from a calculated current value, just if you're assuming the cable size, don't tell the wrong size. Okay. So regarding the cable representation, as I said, we can type AYFY A2XWY. Okay, that is a normal for that format we follow. And also it can be represented in this way also. So here the insulation outer sheath is PVC. Okay, so I am typing the outer sheath initially. Okay, then oblique. If it is steel wire armored, I can type SWA. SWA. And if it is XLPE, I can type 2H. XLPE insulation. And the conductor, if it is copper, I can type CU. So this is also an accepted format which you can represent the cable in single line diagram. Okay. So this is how we represent the cable using cable codes. Okay. Now coming to the cable basic structure, I will just take a video. That video represent like how the cable is being manufactured. So it will give an idea like how you are selecting the means the correct conductor, how the inner sheath is formed, and when we are how we are armoring is prepared, and finally the outer sheath. Okay, this is actually a 10-minute video. Just take the time to watch it. If you're not getting the audio, just type in the chat box. Okay.
Welcome to Top Cable. We are one of the world's largest manufacturers of electrical cables. Our range of cables make the transfer of electricity possible in many different types of installations. All our technology is focused on developing and producing electrical cables of the highest quality. We are certified by the most demanding and best-known organizations in the world. In this video blog, we will show you how an electrical cable is made. We are surrounded by electrical cables. We have become so used to them that we hardly notice them. However, if we didn't have them, daily tasks such as switching on a light in a room, using a lift, or turning on a computer wouldn't be possible. The cables come in different types and sizes, which makes it possible to supply electricity to this printer or make a wind turbine work. The technology needed to ensure an electrical cable stays in good working condition for several years without problems involves complicated manufacturing processes, which require highly qualified staff. Would you like to know how an electrical cable is made? Follow me. The basic components of an electrical cable are the conductor and the insulation. The conductor channels the current through the cable, and the insulation maintains the flow of electricity in the conductor. Cables may also have other additional coverings to protect them and increase their working life. The most frequently used material for the conductor in an electrical cable is copper. Aluminium is also used in specific cases. The first manufacturing process of a conductor is the wire drawing. This consists of reducing the diameter of the copper wire gradually to its final diameter to increase its ductility and conductivity. The copper arrives from the foundry to Top Cable's factories in large coils weighing 5 tons. This copper, 8 millimeters in diameter, is technically known as wire rod. The first stage of the wire drawing is simply called drawing. The diameter of the wire rod is reduced to 2 millimeters during this process. This 2 millimeter wire is then drawn further to reduce the diameter of the wire to the size needed for each kind of conductor. In the last stage of wire drawing, all the wires undergo a heat treatment called annealing. The aim of this stage is to increase the ductility and conductivity of the copper. After the wire drawing, the copper wires are grouped together to make conductors. This process is called wiring. During the wiring process, conductors with different cross-sections are made. For example, a cross-section as small as 0.5 millimeters squared to 240 millimeters squared, 400 millimeters squared, or even higher for larger current capacities. The machine used to make the cables depends on the cross-section of each conductor. The next process in the manufacture of electrical cables is the insulation. This is when we place an insulating cover over the conductor to prevent current leakages. In this process, the insulating material is added by a process of extrusion at high temperature. The insulation ensures there are no current leakages. Several insulating materials may be used: PVC, EPR, XLPE, etc. Different insulation materials may be used, depending on the characteristics of the cable required. The quality of an insulation material depends on 2 basic characteristics: its insulation capacity and its heat resistance. The material's insulation capacity and its thickness determine the cable's maximum service voltage. An insulation material with a high heat resistance allows the conductor to transmit more power than the same cross-section with an insulation with a lower heat resistance. The whole length of the cable undergoes a voltage test to ensure the insulation layer does not have any faults. Phase wiring is the grouping of different insulated conductors to make a multi-core cable. The phases can be identified by color or by numbering them. A voltage test is also carried out on the whole length of the manufactured cable during this process. And that is how an electrical cable is made. However, in some cases, the cable may require additional elements in order to improve its protection or operation. Electrical coverings, also called screens, insulate the signals that circulate in the cable from possible external interference.
Las protecciones eléctricas, también denominadas pantallas, aíslan las señales que circulan por el cable de posibles interferencias externas.
They also shield the power cables to prevent them from interfering with adjacent signal circuits. Mechanical coverings, also called armor, protect the cable from external damage that may occur from knocks, rodents, and any other potential causes of damage. The armor is made from steel or aluminium and can come in the form of metal strips, wires, or braids. Cables usually have an outer polymer covering for protection. This is called the outer sheath. The sheath protects the conductors and their insulation from external elements which may change their electrical properties, such as moisture. It also protects them from mechanical aggression, which may occur during the installation of the cable. As with the insulation, the outer sheath can be made from a thermoplastic or a thermosetting plastic. The outer sheath is applied like the insulation via a process of extrusion at high temperature. The sheath may be made from different materials depending on the required protection level, the final flexibility of the cable, the work environment, etc. So that all top cable customers can correctly identify their cables, the cables are marked with the most important information: manufacturer, trade name, cable name, number of conductors, cross-section, construction regulation and standards, CE marking, and other information of interest, such as the product certification. With their stock control.
So I believe you have listened the and seen the video. So in that video, while explaining about the insulation, they were telling like thermosetting and thermoplastic. Okay, thermosetting insulation is there, thermoplastic insulation is there. So what is this thermoplastic insulation? Can anybody tell the insulation that we use for the thermoplastic, and which insulation we will be using in the thermosetting? Thermoplastic and thermosetting. We have already discussed about the cable. In the cable code, we have discussed about the type of insulation, right? AYFI and A2HFI. So Y means PVC, 2H means cross-linked polyethylene. Here PVC is thermosetting or thermoplastic. PVC is thermosetting or thermoplastic. Can anyone tell the type? Just give a guess. Okay, thermosetting or thermoplastic. PVC is thermosetting or thermoplastic. Just give it a try. Just tell PVC is thermosetting or thermoplastic. Even if it is wrong, not an issue. Okay. Thermosetting means when the temperature in the cable increases, it automatically can change the shape depending on the temperature. It will not get melt. Okay. Like when the temperature starts increasing, it will automatically attain a shape. Okay. That is thermosetting. Thermoplastic means when the temperature is rising of a particular value, it might start get melted. Okay, the structure might change. It might get burned. So now can you say which one is thermosetting, which one is thermoplastic? You can hear me, right? I'm not sure whether you're because no one is giving response. Yeah. So I will tell the type. Thermosetting means it is HLPE. Okay, cross-linked polyethylene. Okay, cross-linked polyethylene. So whenever someone is mentioning about thermosetting, you should understand that the insulation is cross-linked polyethylene or HLPE. Thermoplastic means PVC. Okay, these are the two main insulation that we usually mention in the cable selection. Okay, and when it comes to the wires, I'm telling about the normal wires. We have different type of insulation. Yeah, for thermosetting means HLPE insulation. When the temperature rises in the cable, means when the current is flowing through the conductor, of course, obviously, it will have some derating factors. Derating factors means it will have some resistance or something which oppose this current flow. So definitely the temperature will be there. And considering the atmospheric temperature and the temperature inside the cable, and it is rising to a particular value, this thermosetting cable can adjust their own shape. Means HLPE cable can reform their shape, which means it will not get melted or it will not get burned or for a particular temperature. I'm telling about a particular temperature, maybe 70 degree or 90 degree. But in the case of thermoplastic, that is PVC insulated, when the temperature rises, it cannot reform the shape. So after rising into a particular value, this might get burned, okay, or get melted. So that is a difference between thermosetting and thermoplastic. So whenever someone is saying it is thermosetting, you should understand that the cable insulation is XLPE or cross-linked polyethylene. Thermoplastic means PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Okay. So now coming to the normal wires. Okay, normal wires that we use for the household wiring. This one is also have different types of insulation. You might have heard or you might have seen FRLS. Have anybody heard that type of insulation? FRLS. FRLS is there. FR 0 H is there. Okay, I will take one particular cable's catalog so that you can understand the types of insulation that we normally choose for the wiring. So okay, yeah, fire. Yeah, it is related to fire. FRLS. Can you mention the full form? FRLS. It is related to fire. That is correct. Okay, I will mention. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, if you could see this particular website, that is one of the brand from India, RR Cable. You can see Super HFR. This is construction and building range cables. You can see Super HFR. It is flame retardant. Okay, flame retardant. It will retard the flame to a particular time. That means the fire progress will get slow for this particular type of cable. If you are using this particular wires inside the building, and if there is in some case there might be a risk for fire also. So we are overseeing this risk and we are selecting the fire FR cables or FRLS, that is flame retardant and flame retardant low smoke. So there are two different types in that flame retardant. Okay, flame retardant and flame retardant low smoke. So it will retard the flame. So if you keep the wires in the flame, not in the fire. Okay, whenever you say, you have to be careful. Don't say fire retardant. You can't retard the fire. Okay, you have to mention flame retardant low smoke. So when you keep the wires in the flame, and for a particular time it will withstand the temperature and the flame. Okay, only for a particular time. Okay, and in case of flame retardant and low smoke, usually in case of fire accidents in a building, most dangerous one is smoke. Okay, 80% of the people will get unconscious because of the smoke only. without getting proper oxygen. So smoke is the like smoke is more dangerous than the comparing to, like I'm telling about the risk elements. Okay, if you're getting more smoke in that building, and it might cause the person to get unconscious and fell down, and later he will die after getting fire. Okay, so this FRLS is having a property to produce lesser smoke comparing to the normal wires. So flame retardant low smoke is one of the another type in the wire insulation. And next one is HRFR. HRFR, you can see heat resistant and flame retardant. So it also retard the flame. Also, it will resist the heat. Okay, so the pricing will be different. Okay, for each type, the pricing will be different. And you can also see fire at LSOH or LS0H. Okay, low smoke, zero halogen. It will not produce halogen by causing a fire. So for example, if I'm telling in the price, regarding the price, okay, if the client is choosing flame retardant, the price will be around 1000 Indian rupees for one coil. One coil means 90 meter. Okay, the cable is available in coil. Okay, or project coil or normal coil. One coil means 90 meter. Okay, the price will be around 1000 Indian rupees. I'm just assuming the price. Okay, 1000 Indian rupees. And if you're taking FRLS, the price will be around 1300. Okay, and if you're taking heat resistant flame retardant, and again the price will be increasing. So up, according to the client's budget and client's requirement, he will be selecting he will be the one, we will be recommending the type of insulation. Obviously the most safer one is low smoke, zero halogen, or heat resistant, fire resistant. That one will be the most appropriate one. Last two, even comparing the price, the client might be telling, like if there is more number of cables, sorry, wires, he will be thinking about the budget also. In that case, he will be the one who deciding the insulation. Okay, so if you're having a project management consultant, and someone is there to select the quality of the wires, obviously they will be the one who will be advising on the type of insulation. So there will be a standard, there will be a standard for them to take whichever insulation is suitable for the building. Okay, so flame retardant low smoke, heat resistant flame retardant, HRFR is the low smoke, zero halogen. So these are the normal insulation that we usually select for the wiring, normal wiring. Okay, so these are the insulation type. Coming to the cable section, that is basic structure. As I already told you, we can mention in the AYFA format, or as I shown you in the word format, that is PVC slash steel wire armored slash 2H slash copper. That is also a common practice to mention the cable. Okay, so what is actually the core? Okay, so you can see this is a cross-sectional view of an armored cable. Okay, cross-sectional view of the armored cable. So if you see, this is the conductor, this red one is insulation, and the silver color is armoring, and the black color outer sheath. Okay, conductor, insulation, armoring, outer sheath. So when you take the cross section of a cable, you can see whether it is a single core or multi-core. Okay, so this first one, as you observe, you can identify this is a single core. Okay, this one is 2 core, this one is 3 core. So what is this one? Can somebody say this one is 1, 2, 3? What is this one? Okay, 3.5. Yeah, one have said about 3, 4, and one said 3.5. So this is actually 3.5. You can see the black wire. Obviously, it will be the neutral. It is actually half of the remaining cross section. This one is 4 core. Okay, you can see all are in equal size. 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you see, you need to count the numbers as well as you need to check the size also. You can observe that this one is having half core. Okay, obviously you would be thinking why we need a 3.5 core, because For example, I'm telling about the single core cable initially. So normally when you are taking a single core cable, like obviously you will be having another cable, another single core cable to take the neutral supply also. Okay, so normally the single core cables or single core wires you usually take for the wiring only, like normal wiring, house wiring. Okay, you don't usually take the single core cables. If there is a special purpose, you can take single core cable. Okay, then two core. So now when you mention about the two core cables, you can see phase as well as neutral, phase and neutral. So for example, um, you are having a underground supply. You need an underground supply to take out from the building. For example, you are having landscape lighting. Okay, landscape lighting. You have landscape lighting. So obviously you need to take the wiring underground. Okay. So for example, the control is from inside the building or inside the house, and the lights are located everywhere in the landscape area as well as the gate, compound wall, everywhere. So normal practice is to take the cable underground. In that case, you will be taking the phase and neutral together. So for that purpose, you will be taking an underground cable. Obviously, it will be an armored cable. Okay, wherever you need physical protection, you need to take the armored cable. Okay, so in that case, you can take the two core cable, which is shown in this figure. Okay, second one. And when we will be taking the three core cable, so obviously for any kind of electrical supply, we will need both the phase and neutral. Okay, both the phase and neutral. But in some case, for example, purely electrical load equipments, that is induction motors, three-phase induction motors. Three-phase induction motors, because the vector sum of three-phase induction motor is IR plus IY plus IB is equal to 0. Actually, the vector sum of three-phase induction motor is IR plus IY plus IB equal to 0, because there is no harmonics, no energy loss, no return current. So in that case, you will not need neutral supply. So in that case, you can take three core cable here. Okay, where you doesn't need the neutral supply. Okay, or also there is another purpose, like you can take three-phase three-core cable, also neutral wire separately, or neutral single core cable separately. Okay, normally we will be taking either 2 core or 4 core or 3.5 core. So coming to 3.5 core. So normally in British standards, they don't choose 3.5 core. Their option is, if it is three-phase supply, they will be going with the 4 core only. But in Indian standards, we can select 3.5 core also and 4 core also. Like for example, we are having a main switchboard panel, which is coming from the transformer. Okay, we have a 100 kV transformer inside the building, and from the transformer, supply is coming to the main switchboard panel. Okay, this main switchboard panel have a demand of 100 kW. Okay, so we will be calculating the current, like 100 kW means P equal to 100 kW. So you can calculate the current, means you can calculate the current from the maximum demand. Okay, you will be obviously you will be calculating the maximum demand, then only you will be calculating current, then adding safety factor, you got some amount of current. So you will be checking the appropriate cable, and you will be selecting the cable. So in that case, in Indian standard, we can take 3.5 core cable if the cable size is greater than 25 square mm square. You can take 3.5 core cable. Not mandatory to keep 4 core cable, because obviously the neutral purpose is to take the return current. Okay, from the IR plus IY plus IB will not be equal to will not be 0 for the normal electrical supply, which will be having harmonics. So there will be some return current. So the neutral purpose is to take the return current. So normally the return current will be lesser than half the capacity of phase current. Okay, for example, the phase current phase supply is carrying, we are telling about the 3.5 core cable. Okay, so each is actually R phase, Y phase, B phase. So each phase has to carry some amount of current. For example, this R phase is carrying 100. Obviously, the same amount of current will be carried by Y phase. The same amount of current will be carried by the B phase, if it is equally balanced. Okay, if it is equally balanced. In that case, normally the current flow through the neutral would be lesser than 50. That is why we are able to select the 3.5 core cable. Okay, but as per the considering the safety, it is better to take 4-core cable. In some cases, if it is unbalanced, the return current might be higher than the expected value. So in that case, 4-core cable might be benefit or useful. Okay, so that is this is how we select the cable core, number of core. Okay, so I will show an example regarding the calculation. So we have mainly two different methods to study. Okay, one is there is also thumb rule also is available there. Like you are at a site and you're having a situation like the electrician is coming and asking, we have a 100 ampere load demand. So which cable will be suitable for the 100 ampere load demand? Which cable and the size? Okay, so you will be checking whether it is temporary or permanent. If it is permanent, obviously you will be checking the correct cable size and appropriate calculations and everything. If it is temporary, you can just assume and just for the time being you can do the calculation in your mind itself. Like there is a calculation method known as thumb rule. Okay, so the thumb rule, I will show that. Okay, so as you can see, current carrying capacity thumb rule, current carrying capacity of aluminum conductor is 2.5 ampere per mm square. Okay, 2.5 ampere per mm square. This is actually a thumb rule only. Okay, you can't follow for the actual calculation purpose, but for the time being, like if someone is asking by giving a current value, you can just guess the cable size. Okay, for that purpose only you can use this method. Okay, for the real project calculation you have to follow the standards. Okay, so in this case the current carrying capacity of aluminum is 2.5 ampere per mm square. Okay, current carrying capacity for copper is 5 ampere per mm square. So here we have an example. The current load is 100 ampere. Therefore, for copper conductor, 1 mm square, you know, 5 ampere you can carry it by the 1 mm square. For then what will be the size for 100 ampere? Just divide the 100 with 5. You will get the required cable size. Okay, so I just want any one of you to calculate if the current demand is 200 ampere. Okay, current demand is 200 ampere and we are taking copper cable. So what shall be the required size? But when you say the size, don't say wrong size. Okay, just try to recollect the standard size available and select the appropriate size which you remember. Okay, you have to calculate the required cable size using the thumb rule, that is 5 ampere per mm square for copper, and the current demand is 200 ampere. Can anybody say the appropriate cable size? Yes, 50, because the value we will be getting by 200 with 5, it will be 40. But after 35, the standard size is 50. So 50 is the right answer. So this is actually thumb rule. We can check the actual current capacity of the 50 mm square copper cable. Okay, so we can go to the cable standard value as per the Indian standards. 1 minute. So this one is table 8, current rating of AYFI cable. So we can check copper cable size. So voltage drop and current value in copper cable size. Okay, so 50 mm square current. Okay, you see 50 mm square copper cable can carry only 147. So as per the calculation, our demand was 200. The size should be 95 square, 95 mm square. Okay, 95 mm square. So this will not be correct value. You will not get the correct value. The thumb rule might be very different from the actual value. So you can see 50 mm square cable can carry only 147. How I selected 147? You can see the heading 3-core pin core. Here we have 3-core because 3-core means 3-phase supply. Okay, 3-phase supply. That doesn't mean the cable shall be 3-core. Here the intention is to understand this is 3-phase, this is single phase. So here the current carrying capacity is 147 for the 50 square mm cable. But as per the thumb rule, we just divided with the 5 mm square, 5 ampere value. So we got 40, then we have taken 50 mm square, but the actual value is very different. Okay, so to carry 200 ampere, you should select 95 square mm. Okay, here you can see 219. The cable size, corresponding cable size is 95. Okay, so thumb rule, you cannot depend on thumb rule in normal case, but if it is cable size coming lesser than 100, that might be fine. Okay, means current carrying capacity coming under 100, that might be fine. For example, if you select 100 ampere and you are dividing with 5, you will be getting 20. The standard says 25. That is fine. Okay, you can see that. So you cannot trust the thumb rule always. You need to do the actual calculation. But to get an idea about the nearest cable size, you will get an idea by doing the thumb rule calculation. But for actual calculation, you need to check the voltage drop, cable length, cable insulation, etc. Okay. So this is the thumb rule method. Okay. For aluminum, it is 2.5. For copper, it is 5 ampere. Okay. So this is the basic introduction regarding the cable. So we have gone through the basic structure and insulations type, and the cable basic structure means the cable codes also AOFI and this copper, steel wire armored, PVC outer sheath. So different ways to express the cables using cable codes. And now we have gone through the different core of cable, like 1 core, 2 core, 3 core, 3.5 core, 4 core. Okay, so if you observe that, you can see this is armored cable, this one is unarmored cable. You can see the difference, right? This is armored cable, this one is unarmored cable. So we usually say multi-core cables and single core cables. So now you understand how to determine whether it is single core, 2 core, 3 core, 3.5 core. Okay, so this particular single core cable is having the conductor like, can you say this is stranded or solid? What do you mean by stranded or solid? We have seen solid conductors also, like for communication purpose, for television communication cables, like it will be having a single conductor, like what do you say, solid conductors. But for electrical purpose, we select stranded conductors. Armoring is the physical protection. Armoring is the physical protection of the cable. I think if you have seen the video, you might be remembering they have mentioning about the physical protection. Armoring is used for the physical protection. It is a covering that is coming above the primary insulation. Okay, for a normal cable, we will be having conductor, primary insulation, then the armoring, then the outer sheath. After this particular section, I will just show you fixing the gland video. Okay, fixing the gland fixing video. Like when you connect the cable to a panel board, you cannot directly connect the cable. There is a procedure to fix the cable to a panel board by fixing the gland. So in that video, you will see what is armoring. Okay, so now what is single and stranded cable? Okay, single strand or multi-strand. You can see this is one is a single strand, because this one is solid conductor or single stranded conductor. Okay, and this one is multi-stranded conductors. Okay, so this one is single stranded, this one is multi-stranded. So which cable do you think we will be using for the electrical purpose, and why? Single strand cable or multi-strand cables? Single strand or multi-strand? Yes, multi-strand. Can you tell me the reason why we can't select single strand cables for electrical supply? Normally we use single strand cable for the communication, but it will also conduct electricity, but it is not recommended for using. There is a reason. Have you heard about skin effect? Okay, so skin effect is the reason why that we can't select the single stranded cable for electrical. Skin effect means the tendency of the alternating current to lose it to the surface. Okay, the tendency of the alternating current to lose to the surface. So if there is only one conductor or single stranded conductor, there is no nearby conductors to lose, like it will not have a property to uh, keep the alternating current. So if you take the single stranded conductor for alternating current, there will be more loss. Okay, that is why we are taking multi-stranded conductors. So multi-stranded conductors have nearby small conductors that is in a particular wire format. So the loss will be very less comparing to the single stranded. That is why we are selecting multi-stranded conductors for electrical supply. The reason is known as skin effect. So after this, if you Google the particular word, you will get the proper definition. The tendency of the alternating current to lose it to the surface. Okay, now as I said, I will show the gland connection video, so you will understand how a cable is being connected to a panel, but also what is the procedure.
The most natural sounding text to speech software on the market. Hey, I'm Joey, and I'm one of the 30 AI.
Separate the cable gland into 4 components by loosening assembly A from assembly B. Assembly A. Reversible cone. Anyway clamping ring. And assembly B. It is not necessary to dismantle the gland any further. Pass assembly B out the seal nut first, over the cable, followed by the anyway clamping ring. The anyway clamping ring cannot be installed incorrectly. If required, an entry thread seal should be fitted over the gland entry thread at this stage. Tighten assembly A into the equipment with a spanner. Determine the conductor length that will be required to suit the equipment geometry and carefully cut through the outer sheath and the armor wires to remove them. It is recommended that the armor wires are cut with a hacksaw until they are almost severed. Care should be taken not to cut through the wires into the inner sheath. The armor wires can then be twisted and removed easily. Measure and mark the required armor length on the sheath. This will vary depending upon the size of the gland being installed. Armor lengths are shown in the fitting instructions. The outer sheath should be removed to reveal the armor wires at the appropriate length. Open up the armor wires to suit the armor cone. Insert cone into assembly A. Insert the cable into assembly A, ensuring that the armor is evenly spaced around the cone. Whilst pushing the cable gently forward to maintain contact between the armor and the armor cone, tighten the inner seal nut into the entry component of assembly A. Hold the entry component with a spanner and tighten the inner seal nut until the two components are metal to metal and cannot be tightened any further. Locate the Anyway sleeve onto the armor cone. Ensure the braid is in 360-degree contact with both the cone and the Anyway ring. Hand tighten Assembly B onto Assembly A. Using a spanner to hold the entry component of Assembly A, tighten the body of Assembly B until metal-to-metal contact is made. Use a spanner to loosen Assembly B from Assembly A. Once disconnected, it should be possible to see the armor is securely clamped by the Anyway clamping ring and the armor cone. Hand tighten Assembly B into Assembly A. Using a spanner to hold the entry component of Assembly A, tighten the body of Assembly B until metal-to-metal contact is made. Finally, tighten the outer seal nut with a spanner until the seal has clearly formed around the cable and cannot be further tightened without the use of excessive force, or until the outer seal nut and body are metal to metal. The body should be secured with a spanner during tightening.
So you have seen the video of gland fixing, like how the cable is being connected to a panel board using the cable glands. Okay, so also we need to mention the cable gland size also. By checking the cable outer diameter, you need to check the cable gland selection also. Okay, so that we will be studying in the further, means the cable calculation part. So now coming to the cable calculation, we can start with the Indian standard. Okay, so I hope everyone remember the equation for power in single phase and three phase. Okay, P equal to VI cos phi, P equal to root 3 VI cos phi. Okay, so the important criteria for cable selection is like you have to find the circuit current or the demand current. Okay, then we have to add the safety factor. After adding the safety factor, you have to select the nearest cable which is available. Okay, so here we have an example. Given the load of a building is 30,000 watts, here P equal to root 3 VI cos phi, that is 1.732 into V into I into cos phi. So substituting all the value, you will be getting I is equal to 52 ampere. Okay, then after that adding 25% for the future load as a safety factor. Okay, so at least you have to add 20%. Okay, 20 to 25%. Then you have to select the cable. So this is how we do the calculation. So I just want you to do a calculation. I will give an example, and also we need to check the voltage drop also. So the allowed voltage drop is 3%. The allowed voltage drop is 3%. Okay, so what is the 3% of 230 volt and 450 volt? Voltage drop is equal to VD equal to I into R into L. Sometimes the voltage drop might be given in the table itself. Otherwise, the resistance will be given. So you have to calculate the voltage drop for the cable depending on the length, and it should not exceed 3%. So if it is single phase supply, the 3% is 6.6 volt. That means you're feeding a cable, and the initial side you are getting 220 volt. At the end side you can have maximum drop of 6 volt, 6.6 volt. That means the starting part you are having 220 volt. The ending area, that means the feeding area, you shall have at least 214 volt. If it is coming lesser than 214, that means the voltage drop is greater than 6.6. Okay, that means it is exceeding the 3%. So it is universal. Okay, wherever you are doing the calculation, whichever standard you follow, 3% is the maximum limit that voltage drop is allowable. Okay, so 3% of 220 is 6.6, 3% of 415 is 12 volt. Okay, so you need to check the current carrying capacity as well as the voltage drop. Okay, so coming to the example, just take 50 kW electrical load, 50 kW electrical load, and do the calculation as per the equation. Okay, I just want you to calculate the 50 kW electrical load with the current calculation. Okay, then the procedure is calculate the current, adding safety factor, then you have to tell me the value you got after adding the safety factor. Safety factor is 25%. So you know the equation to you calculate the current also. So the load is 50,000 watts or 50 kW. Just take your time and calculate the current, then adding the safety factor. Just let me know the cable size. Sorry, current value. Then we can select the cable together. Both for both aluminum and for copper also we can select. One not 8 ampere. Yeah, after adding the safety factor, right? So 108 ampere is the value we have got after adding the safety factor. Okay, now we can go to the cable standard size for aluminum. When we can see, this shall be the standard size. Okay, so we can take table 10. So table 10 is having voltage drop and resistance of AYFA cable, also the current rating. So from this cable, you need to take 3-core current, 3-core 3-phase value. Can you tell me the appropriate cable size corresponding to the 108 ampere? You can see the left end is conductor cross-sectional area. 3-core 3-phase is having 2 columns, current carrying capacity in amperes, voltage drop. So you have to check the current value which is equal to or greater than 108. And after getting the current value equal to or greater than 108, you have to check the conductor cross-sectional area. Can anyone tell the cross-sectional area corresponding to 108 or current value greater than 108? Yeah, I will show that. So you can see current carrying capacity 19, 25, 32, 43, 58, 50, 74, 90, 115. So 115 is greater than 108. So that will be suitable, right? So corresponding size, it is 50 square mm. Okay, 50 square mm. So we cannot select the cable size based on the current value alone. You have to check the voltage drop also. Okay, so in this particular table we also have the voltage drop value. So you can see voltage drop per ampere per meter, it is given in millivolt. Okay, it is given in millivolt. So the voltage drop is 1.3 millivolt per ampere per meter. So what was the maximum voltage drop limit for three-phase supply? It was 12.2 volt, right? 12.2. So we need to check whether this particular cable is crossing that 12.2 value. So for that we need to understand the current demand, that is 108. We know the current because it is written in per ampere per meter format. So just imagine or just assume the length of the cable is 50 meter, 50. So how you can calculate the voltage drop in meter? As I told, the length is 50 meter, current is 108, but here the value is given in 1.3 millivolt. Okay, so how you will calculate 1.3 millivolt? You have to convert into volt. So 1.3 divided by 1000. 1.3 divided by 1000. Then multiplying it with 108 and 50. Why I am dividing 1.3 with 1000? Since it is given in millivolt, I have to convert it to the volt. Okay, because we are going to find out the value in voltage only. Okay, so 1.3 divided by 1000, you will get the volt value. Then multiplying it with 108, that is the current we have got after adding the safety factor. 50 is the cable length. Since in this particular table, it is given in 1.3 millivolt per ampere per meter. Per ampere per meter. So can anyone do the calculation for the voltage drop? Just do it and tell me the value. This is easy, right? 1.3 divided by 1000. Then multiply that value with 108 and 50. What will be the value? Seven 7.02. Yeah, 7.02. So which is less than 12.6 volt, right? 12.6 is the limit in the case of three-phase supply. So this is coming under the 3% voltage drop. Also, the cable is uh, uh, capable to carry the 108 ampere. So that in that way, we can select or we can finalize the 50 mm square cable for our particular load. Okay, so now I will give you another example. I just want you to understand the importance of voltage drop. Okay, so here you can take the table 11 and just consider we have a half HP pump. Okay, half HP pump, that means it will come around 360 or 350 something wattage. Okay, So we would need only 1.5 mm square copper wire. Okay, it can easily carry the required current. Okay, for the half HP pump. So we are having this half HP pump located 100 meters away from the supply source. Our DB is or the supply switch is located inside the building, and this half HP pump is located at the well or an underground water source, okay, which is 100 meter away from the building. So obviously we will be thinking, since it is half HP, 1.5 mm square will be sufficient. Of course it will be sufficient, but we are not thinking about the length of the particular cable and not thinking about the voltage drop. Here, if you could see, the current carrying capacity of half 1.5 mm square is 20 ampere. Okay, means it can carry 20 ampere in the 1.5 mm square cable. Okay, our demand, just think our demand is 10 ampere. Okay, just think that, like, we just assume that our demand is 10 ampere and the length of the cable or length of the wire is 120 meters. Okay, 100 or 120 meters. Now taking that value into consideration, can you do the voltage drop calculation as we have done in the previous question? Here the voltage drop is 29. Okay, here we are taking single phase. Okay, twin core, since 1 HP pump will not be, so half HP pump will not be in the 3-phase supply, it will obviously come in the single phase. So 1.5 mm square wire have 29 millivolt. Okay, 29 millivolt. So current is 10 ampere, length is 100 meter. So can anybody do the voltage drop calculation for this particular 1.5 mm square wire? Yeah, 29 volt. Okay, which is higher than the expected value, because for single phase supply 6.6 volt is the maximum value allowed. Okay, so it is greater than 6 and I think 4 times greater. Okay, so in that case 1.5 mm square cable is not allowed for the half HP pump. So we just thinking about the load on, we cannot select the cable. We need to check the distance, we need to draw the voltage drop. If the voltage drop is 29, that means you will be getting 200, lesser than 200 volt for the pump. So within 1 year or 6 months the pump get uh, damaged, okay, because of the lesser voltage. Okay, so normally people will not think about this particular voltage drop calculation, but as an electrical design engineers, we have to make sure that nothing is being affected with this cable. Okay, even it is voltage drop, even it is derating factors, we have to make sure it can overcome all the derating situations, that is current carrying capacity, voltage drop issues, and all the cable routing issues, everything. Okay, so now this table is taken from the standard handbook. So when you're doing the real project, we will be checking the manufacturer's catalog. Okay, manufacturer's catalog, because this data will be a standard value. The manufacturer's value will be the accurate value that I have taken from the exact calculation. Okay, this is only the standard value. So we can do a calculation based on the manufacturer's catalog. Okay, now I'm just telling, like, we have a total load of 100 kW and the length is coming around 70 meters. So just imagine we have a building. Okay, I can draw it in the paint so you can understand. So we have a building here and we have a electrical room, and nearby there is a road going. Okay, we have an electrical post here. Okay, so from this electrical post you need to route the cable. Okay, so this cable 90% case this cable will be going to underground. Okay, so obviously you will need to take a armored cable. Okay, most of the clients or architect or what a person is coming to make a decision, he'll be telling you you can take the cable through underground supply. Okay, so here the electrical room will be having a MSP panel located here. So from this MSP panel, the supply will be going to different floors. Just imagine this is a multi-story building. The supply will be going to the different floors using cable duct. Okay, cable duct or whichever possible ways it will be going. Okay, for example, just imagine we have a cable duct here. Okay, so the cable will be again feeding to underground. Then from this particular duct, it will go through a vertical cable tray riser. Okay, so I want you to calculate the cable size for this particular one. Okay, from the electrical post to the electrical room. Okay, so the distance is 75 meters, and here the electrical demand is 130 kW. K shall be smaller. Okay, that is important while rating the denotation. K shall be smaller, kilowatt. So 75 meters is the distance, 130 kW is the total load. I want you to calculate the cable size for aluminum and copper. For aluminum and copper. Okay, so I hope the question is clear. The electrical pole and the electrical room is having a distance of 75 meters. So here we will be having an underground cable. So the condition is the cable running through the ground. Okay, so the demand is 130 kW. You have to calculate. You can assume the demand factor as DF equal to 0.8. Okay, so I want you to calculate the cable size for copper as well as aluminum. Okay, if you have noted down the details or if you remember the details, I can just take the catalog. So then you can select the appropriate cable size for the copper and aluminum. I can give you 5 minutes. It is very easy. It is just as we have done the previous question. Only thing is we will be choosing another catalog and we will be having different conditions, like the voltage drop will not be given there. You have to calculate from the resistance value. Okay, can I take the catalog, or you need more time to observe, or you know no more time to understand the uh, drawing? Shall I take the catalog? If yes, you just someone send me yes in the chat box. If everyone is ready, just send me yes. Okay. Yes, so I'm going to take the catalog. I'm taking Havells catalog. So the Havells catalog, table 10, technical details for Havells 1.1 kV, 4-core aluminum or copper conductor. So this is physical parameters. Okay, physical parameters. Physical parameters will have the thickness, normal armor strip dimensions, overall diameter, etc. Okay, for different armors. So we are going to take electrical parameters. Table 10, electrical parameters. So just calculate the current and type the value in the chat box. Okay. Just tell me the final value after adding the safety factor. Okay. $226 okay, fine. 226 A. If somebody is not understanding the calculation, you can send it now, we can explain. Or if everyone is clear, I will go to the next step. Okay. 220 is the correct answer. If someone is not clear with that answer, I can explain. Okay, anyway, I will tell that 130 kW is the total connected load, right? So here we have to calculate the maximum demand. Just multiply 130 with 0.8. Okay, so you'll get a certain value. That value, from based on that value, you have to calculate the current. Okay, so after getting the current, just multiply it with 1.25. Why multiplying with 1.25? It is like adding 25%. If it is 20%, just multiply it with 1.2. Or you can calculate by you can add that 25% by finding out what is the 25% value. That one is also okay. So that way you'll be getting 226. So the current value is 226. Okay. So now we are going to select aluminum or copper. Which one you prefer? You can take it initially, no issue. So we have ground, duct, air. So here our situation is ground, right? So you have to check the ground. For aluminum, the ampere rating closest to the 226 235, and for copper it is 240. So correspondingly, just take the cable size for aluminum and copper, similar to the same previous question. Okay, you will have the cross sectional area in the left end. You can take the cable size for aluminum and copper. Aluminum 185, 185, 1 minute. Aluminum 185, yes, aluminum is 135, correct, 185, correct. What about copper? Yes, copper 120 mm square. Copper is 120 mm square. Yes, correct. Now I want you to calculate here. The voltage drop is not directly given, but you can see the resistance value ohm per kilometer. Okay, ohm per kilometer. So here from the ohm per kilometer value, you can understand that for copper it is 0.184. For aluminum it is 0.197, right? So just take the value in meters. Okay, per kilometer value is given. So just take the value in meters. Then V equal to I into R into L. That is the equation. I into R into L. Current into resistance into length. You will get the voltage drop. So I into R into L. Keep it in mind. Okay. I into R into L. Then from this particular cable, can you calculate the voltage drop for aluminum and copper? I into R into L. I is, you already calculated 226. R is resistance per meter. Okay. It is given as per kilometer. We have to calculate per meter. Length is also given 75 meter, right? I want to know the voltage drop for aluminum and voltage drop for the copper. Only AB is sending and the answer. No one is responding. No others are responding. Try to do the calculation. Just get the voltage drop value for aluminum and copper. It is very easy. Per kilometer value is given. You need to get in the meter value, then multiply the current, then the distance. 3.34 volt for aluminum. Yeah, correct. What about copper? 3.12 volt. So the voltage drop is coming under 3% value. So this cable is suitable, right? So for the 226 ampere current, we can select 185 mm square for the aluminum and 120 square mm for the copper. Okay. So which size do you, which core do you prefer? 3.5 core or 4 core? As per Indian standard, you can take any. So you can, thinking from the designer's point of view, which size you will be telling for means which core, 4 core or 3.5 core? It is three phase anyway. Either you have to take 3.5 core or 4 core. Yeah, I will explain. We can. It is better to have 4 core cable, but thinking from the client's view, the 4 core cable will be having higher prices than the 3.5 core. So obviously, in that point of view, and the current is not coming in a negligible value in that neutral. So it is okay to select 3.5 core. Okay, but from the designer's point of view, whenever we have to expect the current might be increasing in the neutral also. Okay, so in that case 4 core is better. Okay, so there is a condition as per the Indian standard. There is a condition when to select the 4 core cable. I will just show some standards related to that. And also when you lay underground cables, the depth shall be 75, at least 75 centimeter. There are some standards for the laying electrical medium voltage cables. Okay, so I believe you can see this MV cables. Cable shall be supported at a distance of 45 centimeter from termination. Minimum depth of laying of MV cable shall be 75 centimeter. When cables are laid across public roads, cable shall be drawn through the Hume pipes of minimum 10 centimeter diameter, laid at minimum depth of 1 meter. Permission from local authority shall be obtained. Yeah, if the cable is crossing the road, okay, if the cable is crossing the public road, you shall get permission from the public work department, and then only you can lay the cable. And the standard is to pass the cable through a Hume pipe at a laid at a depth of 1 meter. Okay, glands at both end of armor shall be earthed. As you have seen in the video, that is gland connection. The gland shall be earthed. Okay, different racks shall be provided in cable trenches for cable of different voltage. For example, you are having a cable rack or cable tray. In that particular tray, you are having 11 kV cable and you have a 415 volt cable. So it should be separated. Different rack shall be provided in the cable trench. Okay. Minimum size of cable power load shall be 4 square mm for aluminum and 2.5 square mm for copper. Yeah, obviously if you take a air conditioner load or a power circuit load, the minimum size for the wire for the if you're taking copper shall be 2.5, if you're taking aluminum it shall be 4 square mm. Okay, while designing the cables, cable codes in table 7 shall be used. Cable shall have a adequate normal current carrying capacity and short circuit current carrying capacity, table and 8 and 9. Okay, voltage drop in cable shall not exceed 3%. Power loss in cable also be considered while selecting cables. Resistance of aluminum cable is given. Cable can be loaded up to 75% of its rated current carrying capacity specified by the manufacturer. For current rating of medium voltage XLPE cables, IEC 603645523 may be followed as per table 12. Installation monitoring system shall be provided if another system is adopted. Okay, now we can go to the standards related to the 3.5 core and 4 core cable. 1 minute. Whenever you get time, just try to refer these notes also. Electrical inspectorate diary. These also have a lot of information related to the construction part, especially like medium voltage, high voltage, etc. So I will take the cable part. 1 minute. Yeah, if you could see the 15th point, considering the harmonic current, only 4 core cables up to and including size 25 square mm shall be used for lighting loads, UPS, etc. So up to 25 square mm, you should select 4 core cables only. If the cable size is greater than 25 square mm, you can take either 3.5 core or 4 core. Okay, that is up to your wish, not an issue. Normally it is better to select 4 core cable, but thinking from the expense and budget, you can select 3.5 core also, but also you need to provide protection, special protection for the 3.5 core cable. That will be discussing in the circuit breaker class. Okay, so this is how we calculate the cable size as per the Indian standard. So anyway, it is better to select a cable which is having don't take a close range value. For example, if the uh, calculated value is 100 and you're not doing the safety factor value and just taking the current carrying capacity near to the normal current value, it will be somewhat risky, because as the manufacturer have mentioned a current carrying capacity, it is according to their test procedures, but when it comes to the real conditions, the current carrying capacity might be different. For example, we have a lot of different characteristics in our like the electrical conditions. For example, you are taking a cable for a closed electrical room and the temperature is very high, which means the ambient temperature is high, which will make the property become like if it is having 100 ampere capacity, due to this particular ambient temperature, it might have a property of to carry only 90 or 95 ampere. So that there might be difference. It is as similar to the manufacturer of particular vehicle is mentioning the mileage you are getting. Okay, or the electrical vehicle is mentioning you are getting a range, this much range you will get. Definitely when you drive the vehicle you will get lesser value. Okay, so similar to that, whenever the manufacturer is mentioning the cable current carrying capacity, you need to just take the 10% lesser value or 20% lesser value. That will be very safe. So whenever you see some in some cable calculation, when or already calculated, you will think why this much size is required. It is like they have considered all the factors, then they have selected the cables. There might be different factors in that designing stage which you don't know. Okay, so some might be oversized. Okay, that is fine. Some people will be taking oversized cables, but as per the calculation, if it is nearer to the particular value, that is fine. For example, if the calculation value is 25 square mm and you have taken 70 square mm cable, that is not needed. If the calculated value is 25 square mm, you have taken 35, so that is fine, not an issue. Okay, because you have considered a safety part and you have taken a much more bigger cable. Okay, so you have to check the safety factors, derating factors, everything while doing the calculation. So in the next session, that is on Monday, we will be discussing the current rating or current calculation based on British standard. So the British standard calculation procedure is different, entirely different. Okay, they are considering lot of derating factors, etc. Okay, now after calculating using Indian standard, now we will check how the cables are actually mentioned in the single line diagram. So for that, I will be taking a single line diagram right now. So you can see how they are mentioning the cables in a single line diagram representation. Yeah, you can see SSB panel that is written as from MSP, from main switchboard, and here they have written 3.5 240 square mm. Okay, actually this is incomplete. When you mention the cable, you need to mention the cable type, properties, everything in a complete way. For example, so relating to the previous problem we have done, we got 185 square mm, right? So I'm mentioning that particular cable here. So first one, 1R into 4 core. So this is how we represent the cable in a single line diagram. So 1R means you are having one run of cable. Okay, in some cases, if the current is like you have got the current values 226 in the previous question. So the cable is capable to carry the single core cable, single run cable is capable to carry this 226 ampere. If you're taking a 500 kVA transformer, and that would be having a 600 plus ampere, in that case, one run of cable would not be sufficient. That means you would need multiple run. Run means number of cables will be 2 or 3. Okay, so in that case, we will be mentioning like 2 run or 3 run or 4 run. That means you will be having 3 R phase, 3 Y phase, 3 B phase, and 3 neutral. We are taking 3 run of cable. Here we have only one run, that is why I'm mentioning 1 R. And it is 4 core, that is the number of cores we have mentioned. This is a size, 185 square mm is a size. So number of run, number of core, then the size, then type, then finally the length. So can anybody type or just mention the cable code representation for the 120 square mm cable? Don't use a Wi-Fi method, just use another method. That is, you are taking steel wire armored, XLP insulation, PVC outer sheath. Can anybody mention that in a particular way? You have to mention 1R, 4C, size, but the type you can mention like the different method, or any way you wish. You can just mention using the cable codes for the 120 square mm copper cable. Please send in the chat box. Okay. it is very easy. 1R 4C 120 square mm. Then the previous method I have mentioned. Yeah, somebody has sent the answer. 1R 4C CUYFY. Okay, you have to write CU at the last. But normally we would write when using copper like this is the another method I will mention. 1R. Okay, 1R 4C just so this is also another method to represent the cable codes. Okay, 1R 4 core 120 square mm PVC outer sheath, steel wire armored, XLP insulation, copper conductor. Okay, so when copper is coming, you can mention this way. When it is aluminum, it is appropriate like AY2H, AY2H, what we say, Y, AY2H or AW2HY. Okay, so this is normally the procedure to represent it in the single line diagram. So whenever you prepare the single line diagram, try to follow this method. Okay, then whoever is viewing this particular diagram will get an idea number of run, and also the distance also to be mentioned. Okay, 75 meter. Okay, and also in the single line diagram, normally we will mention the cables in this particular box also. You can see description. This is actually a motor. Okay, 150 HP motor. The load is mentioned in HP and also in KW. Okay, so don't get confused by seeing this particular single line diagram. We will be explaining in the coming classes or the final classes, but I just want you to understand. You will be mentioning the cables in this box also. Power cable A2HFY. Okay, that is aluminum conductor, cross-link polyethylene, steel strip armored, PVC outer sheet. Size in square mm, runs into number of core, length in meters. So you have to mention the size, number of core, length in meters. Okay, here you can see this is a 150 HP pump. So they have taken 300 square mm A2HFY cable. Only 3 core. As I said, since it is a motor, 3 core would be sufficient. Okay, if it was a sub panel or main like a final distribution board, we would need 3.5 core. In the next section, next column, you can see it is 3.5. Here it is 3. It's a motor here. Here it is a SSB panel. That is why it is written 3.5 here. It is 3 here. So in this way also we will be mentioning the cable. Okay. So you can see the main cable here, 11 kV, 3 into 150 square mm, XLPE aluminum 3 meters. Okay. This one is actually the primary side conductor of a transformer. Okay, in this particular facility we have delta star configuration 11 kV transformer. So you have mentioned 11 kV supply. Okay, that is why we have mentioned 11 kV. Here you can see 3 into 3.5. Why 3 into 3.5? We have 3 runs. So it is better to write 3R and 3.5C. Okay, then 400 square mm. If it is AYFI, you can mention AYFI also here. Otherwise, they will be telling insufficient data. We don't know the insulation. 1 minute, just give me 1 minute. Sorry for the delay. I got an important call, that's why. So this is how we represent the cable in the single line diagram. So today's portion is over. Like we have discussed about the cable introduction, cable calculation using Indian standard. So in the next session, we will be discussing about the cable calculation using British standard. Okay. So I think I already shared a BS standard related to the British standard calculation BS 7671 handbook. If you could download that particular PDF, you will get a clear picture regarding the calculation procedures. Okay, so that we will get an idea when we take the British standard calculation. So if there is any doubt regarding the calculation or today's session, you can ask right now, or else we can end today's session. Okay, thank you. Normally we for the cable calculation software is doesn't require, like we have Excel spreadsheet, like we can even manually set the Excel spreadsheet for the calculation. If you Google, some softwares will not be available, but it is not necessary to keep it because it is not a big task to calculate the cable size. Okay, if needed, I can give you the spreadsheet for calculating the cable size. It is actually available. If you Google it, you will get the calculation. It is like setting the equations behind and you are inputting the value, you will get the final answer. Okay, thank you.